From survival to softness, the metamorphosis we deserve. Have you ever watched a butterfly struggle to emerge from its chrysalis? That moment when it's neither caterpillar nor butterfly, just vulnerable potential wrapped in a breaking shell. I used to think helping it break free was an act of kindness until I learned that the struggle itself is essential. The butterfly needs that resistance to pump fluid into its wings. Skip the struggle, and those wings never fully develop. We're not so different. In my recent conversation with Melissa Weinman, a visionary whose work has transformed countless lives through her fierce advocacy for authentic self expression, I discovered something profound. Melissa doesn't just talk about transformation, she embodies it. Her approach has revolutionized how we understand personal growth, particularly for those who've been told their whole lives that strength means silence and survival means sacrifice. Life's challenges may feel overwhelming, Melissa shared with me, her voice carrying the weight and wisdom of someone who has walked through fire and emerged not just intact, but illuminated. But every setback is an invitation to evolve from caterpillar to butterfly. Even when life has been laughing at your plans, perseverance and resilience are the keys to transformation. Those words hit me right in the chest because how many of us, especially Black women, have been taught that strength means enduring without complaint, that survival is the goal, that softness is somehow a luxury we haven't earned? Let me tell you something that might sound revolutionary, but shouldn't be. Softness isn't weakness, it's not frivolous. For many of us who spent decades in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities, softness isn't just nice to have. It's necessary to live. And that metamorphosis from survival to softness, it's not just possible, it's our birthright. Consider Lisa Price, founder of Carol's Daughter. Before her brand became a household name and was acquired by L'Oreal for millions, Lisa was mixing products in her Brooklyn kitchen during tough financial times in the early 90s. She wasn't a chemist with fancy degrees. She wasn't backed by venture capital. She was a woman with recipes passed down from her mother and grandmother, creating products at her kitchen table while her children slept. Lisa faced what I call the triple threat: lack of capital in an industry that worships it, skepticism from insiders who couldn't see the vision, and the relentless demands of motherhood that don't pause for business plans. But here's where it gets interesting. Lisa didn't succeed despite her heritage and circumstances. She succeeded because of them. She leveraged what others might have dismissed as ordinary: family recipes, cultural knowledge, community connections. She sold her products at local markets, building support one conversation at a time. What Lisa understood intuitively was something Melissa articulated perfectly. Your story has power. No matter your background or age, your lived experiences carry value. Speaking your truth can inspire others and even save lives. This isn't abstract philosophy or feel good fluff. This is practical magic. When Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett led the NIH research team that developed Moderna's COVID vaccine, she wasn't just doing science. She was making history as one of the few Black female scientists at that level nationally. And let me tell you, that road wasn't paved with red carpets. Raised by a single mother in rural North Carolina who instilled pride despite limited resources, Dr. Corbett grew up understanding that she would have to work twice as hard to get half as far. She faced both systemic underrepresentation in STEM fields and the heavy weight of public doubt about science among communities of color. doubt born from historical mistreatment that has left deep, justified scars. What did she do? Something brilliant. She became both scientist and storyteller. She advocated publicly as a trusted voice, addressing vaccine hesitancy within Black communities while leading scientific teams with empathy. She didn't code switch her identity away to fit in. She brought her whole self to the lab and to the podium. The result wasn't just a vaccine that saved millions globally, though that alone would be enough. The greater achievement was how she redefined what leadership looks like in global health crises. She became a visible example for young Black girls that they belong in labs and at podiums and in history books. Not someday, but right now. That's the power of embracing your full story, the struggles and the strengths, the pain and the purpose. Generational strength matters, Melissa noted during our conversation. We are shaped by those who came before us, mothers, grandmothers, and our growth honors their sacrifices while paving the way for those who follow. I see you nodding because you know this truth in your bones. You know what it means to stand on the shoulders of women who never got to rest, women who worked twice as hard for half as much, women who dreamed of softness but settled for survival because that's what the times demanded. And maybe you've been doing the same, pushing through, showing up, surviving. But what if this is your moment to transform, to honor their sacrifice not by perpetuating the struggle, but by claiming the joy they wish for you? Bazoma St. John understands this evolution intimately, having held C suite roles at Uber, Apple Music, and Netflix. Often as the only Black woman executive in the room, she's navigated spaces where she was frequently underestimated or stereotyped because of her race, gender, and bold style choices. Born into an immigrant family, facing frequent moves across continents before entering high pressure US business culture, Bazoma could have dimmed her light. She could have code switched her way to acceptance, toned down her fashion, made herself smaller to make others comfortable. Instead, she did something radical. She embraced every part of herself. She wore the bright colors. She spoke with her full voice. She used setbacks as fuel for innovation and created mentorship opportunities inside organizations that weren't always ready for her brilliance. The result wasn't just professional success, though launching breakthrough campaigns and earning Fortune's top executive rankings certainly qualifies. The greater impact was in how she inspired thousands through public speaking and writing about embracing one's whole self professionally. Embracing every part of your journey, even what others might see as flaws, is both powerful personally and transformative professionally, Melissa reflected when discussing Bazoma's impact. This is the heart of what I want to share with you today. This metamorphosis from survival to softness isn't selfish, it's sacred. When you give yourself permission to rest, you're not just recharging, you're modeling a new possibility for everyone watching you. When you set boundaries without apology, you're not just protecting your peace, you're creating a template for others to do the same. And when you share your story, the messy, magnificent truth of it, you're not just processing your past. You're potentially saving someone else's future. I challenge you today, not tomorrow, to share one piece of your own story with someone else this week, Melissa urged. Whether it feels big or small doesn't matter. What matters is honoring where you've come from and realizing that every chapter, including pain, is part of your metamorphosis into something beautiful. I know what some of you are thinking. That sounds nice, but you don't know my life. You don't know my responsibilities. You don't know how many people are counting on me. You're right. I don't. But I do know this. The butterfly doesn't emerge from the chrysalis because it's convenient. It emerges because staying inside is no longer an option. Because the transformation has already happened on the inside, and the outside must catch up. Your transformation has already begun. The question isn't whether you'll change, it's whether you'll embrace the change with intention or resist it until you break. The women we admire, Lisa Price building a beauty empire from her kitchen, Dr. Corbett developing vaccines that saved millions, Bazoma St. John redefining executive presence, they didn't wait for permission to evolve. They didn't wait until all conditions were perfect. They simply recognized that their struggles weren't punishments. They were preparation. For what? For this moment, for the opportunity to turn survival into service, pain into purpose, resilience into revolution. So here's my challenge to you, and it's not a gentle one. Stop waiting for permission to transform. Stop believing that your worth is tied to your productivity. Stop thinking that your strength is measured by how much you can endure without breaking. Starting today, not someday, not when things calm down, I want you to identify one area of your life where you've been in survival mode. Just one. Maybe it's at work, where you've been saying yes to projects that drain you. Maybe it's in relationships where you've been accepting less than you deserve. Maybe it's with your health where you've been putting everyone else's needs before your own. Now, I want you to make one decision that honors your journey towards softness. Set one boundary, take one rest, tell one truth, share one story. Because your metamorphosis matters, not just for you, but for every person watching you who needs permission to transform too. For every young girl who needs to see that strength and softness can coexist. For every ancestor who dreamed of a day when their descendants could not just survive, but thrive. The world doesn't need more martyrs, it needs more butterflies, fully developed, brilliantly colored, freely flying. It needs you in all your emerged glory, so struggle if you must. That's part of the process. But know that the resistance isn't meant to keep you contained forever. It's building the strength in your wings for the moment you break free. And that moment, it's now.